Yuuna is already in class when I arrive. She waves as I walk in, and I sit beside her, claiming my rightful spot as to right here. Hey, Yuuna.
Hey,
She wears a wide grin and fidgets with excitement. You seem like you're in a good mood.
I am.
She pauses.
Aren't you?
I guess so. I mean, Nikki was being a little weird this morning, but other than that, I'm okay.
I thought you'd be a little more excited than that.
Really? How come? She seems confused.
Well, I guess I just assumed that this had been hard for you, and I thought I'd helped bring you some relief.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
You know, I found you a sponsor.
Oh! Why am I just now finding out about this? Oh! That's amazing! How did you manage that?
I called in a favor, but that doesn't matter. I've already set up your account with them, and repairs are underway. They started as soon as the paperwork was signed, so your gears will be as good as new in time for the match today.
These guys do not mess around. I don't know how to thank you. She blushes.
You don't have to. I promised I'd find you one, and I always keep my promises.
I don't know what I'd do without you. You're a lifesaver. Yuna's blush deepens, and she seems pleased by my words. You should come meet the team before the match. We can share the good news together.
Sure, as long as I won't intrude on anything.
You won't. She nods. So, I know we won't get our scores back this class, but how do you think we did on the project?
I think we'll get a really high mark.
Yeah? I hope so. We worked really hard on it. She nods.
I feel really confident about it. I'm happy we were able to meet over the weekend and finish the project together. I think it made a huge difference than if we worked separately.
That is for sure. Me too. And getting to spend some time alone with her was an added bonus. It really was. As our conversation winds to a close, the professor comes in and starts the class. The sun shining through my window splashes on my face and wakes me up. I stretch in a wide yawn and glance at the clock. Nearly 10. I'm glad I got a chance to sleep in after the party last night, but I don't want to waste my weekend. I hop out of bed and get ready for the day. What's my plan for today? I should thank Yuuna for all her help finding a sponsor. Well, yes. Yes, Dishu. This is a perfect thing to do. That's a great way to spend my day. Yuuna has really come through for me this past week, and I feel like I should do something nice to thank her. Maybe she's free for lunch. That's a good idea. Take her out on a date. I dial her number and wait for her to answer.
Hello?
That, rang for half a second. That was half of a ring before you picked up there. Hey, Yuuna. Have you eaten yet? She seems a little surprised. I mean, yeah, I just kind of called her out of nowhere and asked her if she ate.
Oh, no, not yet.
Bit of a random question to be calling at 10 in the morning for. Great. Let me treat you to lunch. If it weren't for you, we never would have found a sponsor, and this is my way of saying thank you. The team and I are really grateful for your help.
You don't have to do that. Really, it was no trouble at all.
Please, I insist.
In that case, sure, I'd love to.
Score!
Do you have a place in mind?
You can choose. Actually, I do. I don't care. Well, let's see here. I know Uncle Kaito has a new restaurant that's out, which is what I'm thinking actually will do. But I also want to let her choose, but I'm the one asking her. Actually, I do. Kaito's restaurant immediately springs to mind. I heard there's a popular Western-style restaurant which is pretty good, and if I remember correctly, which I'm pretty sure I do, Yuuna likes Western food, like American food, and hot dogs because she likes to eat at the hot dog cart.
Oh, the place near the park?
Yeah. Have you been there before?
No, but I've been meaning to try it. I mean, I've heard it's good too.
She sounds very excited for this. Perfect. I'll meet you there.
See you soon.
After making my plans, I head downstairs. Oh, that's right.
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there, big bro.
My bike is a pink, glittery, pretty mess. Thank you for that, Nikki. The restaurant calls itself a diner, but has a more upscale atmosphere. The tables all have fresh tablecloths and a small vase with a flower. The ambiance is calmer than a diner, but still family-friendly. Yuuna is waiting for me by the hostess stand when I arrive. That was pretty fast. She's either really hungry, really excited, or both. Oh my god, is she adorable. I had some other comment and I just forgot what it was because I noticed her hair. You're pretty. Were you waiting long? I figured the bus would take a little more time than that. Yuuna giggles and shakes her head.
You're right, the bus would take more time. That's why I walked over.
Ah, that's right. Yuuna lives on the other side of the park. It's not too bad of a walk on a good day like today, but I certainly wouldn't want to walk it in bad weather. Well, I'm sure I've made you wait long enough. Let's go get seated. Her brows furrow.
Shouldn't we wait for the others?
What others? Others?
The rest of the team.
Oh, you thought, oh, well. Boy, do I seem foolish.
Oh.
Yeah, I kinda wanted it to be the two of us. I could call them.
No, it's okay. Let's get seated.
Okay, I mean, if you're not opposed, that kind of saves me a little bit of the embarrassment. She grabs the hostess' attention, who leads us to a table. We sit down and Yuuna buries her face in the menu. Maybe I should call them. I know they'd want to thank you, too. Yuuna makes eye contact for the first time since the misunderstanding, and her expression softens.
I'm sorry, I was just surprised. I don't mind hanging out, just the two of us.
Well, screw that. I'm throwing my phone away, and it's just going to be the two of us then. She blushes as she says that. I like it. This is a good sign. I grin. Okay. We both stare into our menus again. I'm a little surprised by how extensive the menu is. They offer breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even a brunch on the weekends. I want to go to this place. It sounds great. What are you going to order?
I think I will go with the burger.
An excellent choice. You like American food?
Yes, the burger is my favorite, but I also like hot dogs and pizza too.
Those are all fantastic things.
What will you get?
Choose something healthy, choose something adventurous, or choose something familiar. Well, this is Uncle Kaito's restaurant, and it's got Western-style food. Sure, we could go with something healthy. She does say physical health is a good thing. I could go adventurous, but I don't know what adventurous would be here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and choose something familiar. Maybe that'll be a burger as well. I'm missing my food from back home, but I spot a few of my favorites on the menu. That's also what I was thinking. It's been a while since we've been out of CINY. We've been out of the States. I'd be dying for some good old-fashioned American food. Burger and fries, steak, BLT. Oh, I gotta go with a burger and fries. You can get good steak pretty much anywhere, but a good burger and fries is hard to come by. I'll also get the burger. Yuuna beams. I hope it tastes similar to what I'm used to.
Do you eat this a lot?
I don't know if I'd say a lot, but it's definitely something I would eat if I were back home. Yuuna looks interested.
You will have to tell me if it tastes the same.
The waiter comes by and takes our order, complimenting us on our choices. Yuuna and I share an amused smile. So, again, I want to thank you for working so hard to get us a sponsor, especially after that disaster of an interview. Yuuna's face clouds at the mention of the interview.
That guy wouldn't have been good for you anyway. He couldn't see past his own ego to notice how strong of a team you guys are.
You're not wrong. I stare at her in surprise. She's usually so calm and positive.
What?
That's a little harsh. You tell him. I'm a little surprised. Well, I'm a little surprised. Nothing. I just didn't expect to hear that from you. She looks amused. Oh, good. I picked a good option, I think. Dishu could be debating me. He tends to do that a lot.
I only say it because it's true.
Again, not wrong. Still, even after that experience, it's pretty amazing that you managed to get us such a great sponsor. You and the SBA are lifesavers. Yuuna fidgets in her seat. Why are you not looking at me anymore?
Oh, actually, I quit the SBA.
Hubada? What?
I couldn't stay after what happened after the interview. The organization has changed from what it used to be and has strayed too far from its mission.
Isn't the whole point of the SBA to help teams find sponsors? Does the organization no longer do that?
The SBA was originally founded to help all teams get matched up with a sponsor. But now the only teams they care about are the top-tier teams who don't really need the association's help because their stats speak for themselves.
I see what you're putting down now.
The people who really need their help get turned away or pushed aside, and I just don't agree with that.
Well, technically it was the company who turned us down, not the SBA.
That's the problem. The only companies within the SBA network are those who feel the same as Warp Tech. I can't tell you how many calls I made, only to get turned down once they knew your ranking.
I definitely see what you're putting down now.
But the worst part is, when my colleagues noticed me struggling, instead of offering to help, they encouraged me to give up because I was bringing down the association's statistics.
Those bitches.
How can they call themselves a bridging association when they are so discriminatory? A bridge doesn't pick and choose who goes across it.
Not no at all. As Yuuna speaks, she wears that same passionate look she wore after the interview. I had no idea. At least they had one good company within their network, right? Otherwise, we never would have found a sponsor. You're not looking at me again. She blinks, then looks away.
Oh, that's actually a bit of a different situation.
Would you care to explain said situation? Her voice trails off. Before I can ask what she means by that, our food arrives. Oh, look, food, burger. A few awkward seconds go by. Just give it a moment. She's going to take a sniff of that burger, and I pick up my burger, and I'm about to take a bite when I notice Yuuna. Yuuna picks up her fork and knife and cuts into her burger, then eats the piece off of her fork. Do you always eat your burgers with a fork and knife? She blinks in surprise.
Yeah.
How come?
Isn't that how you eat Western food?
I mean, if it's really messy, but it's a sandwich. Do you eat your peanut butter and jellies with a fork and knife? For some foods, yeah, but burgers are easier to eat when you pick it up. Have you never picked up a burger before? Yuuna shakes her head. Not even if you get fast food? She wrinkles her nose.
No, but I'm not a fan of fast food anyway.
Oh, me neither. This date is going great. She glances at the burger in my hands.
Isn't it messy if you eat it with your hands?
That's what makes it more exciting. Not always. That's what your napkin's for. Do what you like. I mean, not always. It really depends on the burger. Get something like a Western burger that's got some onion rings or onion straws and barbecue sauce on it. It gets a little messy, but good old-fashioned burger. Sylar puts it on the grill, cooked it to you nice medium rare, medium. A little bit of pepper jack cheese on it. It ain't gonna be messy. It's gonna be delicious. That depends on how full the burger is. This one shouldn't be messy.
But isn't it rude to eat with your hands?
Not in Americana. Not when it's between friends. Did I just friend zone her? Please tell me I didn't just friend zone her. I take a big bite. See? Nothing fell out. I take another bite. Yuuna watches me, then carefully holds her burger with her fingertips and takes a dainty bite. You are all sorts of adorable. There's a spot of ketchup on her cheek when she puts her burger back down. I stifle a laugh. You have a little something on your cheek. Her eyes grow wide. She snatches the napkin from her lap and dabs at her face.
Did I get it?
No. I lean over and wipe the ketchup off with the napkin. Okay, I'm all sorts of adorable now, too. Yeah, she turned the same color as her hair. Yuuna gasps at my touch, and her face turns pink.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Well, what do you think? Yuuna grins, then picks up her burger and takes another bite. I smile back. We fall silent as we dig into our meals. After a while, I start to fidget from the quiet and my burger's probably gone. So, now that you quit the SBA, are you planning on joining any other clubs? She pauses.
I hadn't thought about it.
What about tennis? Maybe now you'll have time to compete. She laughs lightly.
Maybe. That's still a pretty big commitment. Bigger than the SBA.
I can see a sport being that big of a commitment. I'll help you practice. She grins.
How can I say no to an offer like that?
I wouldn't deny spending time with you either. And I promise I'll win this time. She's gonna kick my butt.
Alright, I'll go easy on you then.
Please don't do that. It's gonna make me feel worse. Wait, what? Yuuna just smiles and hides a laugh. She glances at my nearly empty plate.
How is your food?
Like, having it in my mouth? I'd rate it a solid C. I've made a terrible mistake. I'm become error. Well, it's Uncle Kaito's place. Gotta give it a good rating here. This is great. If I didn't know any better, I'd think it was made by an American. Yuna's face lights up.
Ooh, really? So this is what an authentic burger tastes like.
Turn towards the kitchen. There's Uncle Kaito just kind of sitting there. Hey, bud. How you doing? Welcome to my restaurant. Oh, you got the girl? Nice. I'll leave you alone now. How was your meal? Yuna's already polished her plate, so I can guess what the answer is.
I loved it. This was one of the best burgers I've had in Isokaze.
I grin. I'll have to pass the compliment on to Uncle Kaito. Once I close out the check, Yuuna and I pause right outside the restaurant.
Thank you for the really lovely meal.
Thank you for joining me. It was my pleasure. Thank you for sharing your lovely company with me.
I better get going.
Please don't go. Can I offer you a ride home? She smiles.
Thank you, but I can walk.
But what about the hooligans? I'm open to a little exercise with you. Don't argue with her. I know where you live. Well, we got creepy. Why don't we walk her back? I mean, we just ate a burger. What's wrong with a walk through the park? That sounds like a good idea. I'm open to a little exercise. I like going on long walks too, especially with such lovely company. Yuuna blushes.
It's not that long. Really, I'll be fine going on my own.
I insist.
I have to run some errands before my parents come home anyway.
Weren't her parents away last time too? Are your parents gone a lot?
Yeah. They split their time between the house here and our house in the country. Right now they're in the country, but they'll be back tomorrow for a few days, so I want to have the house tidied up before they arrive.
A house in the country?
That's where I grew up. My family moved here to be closer to Ace Academy, but they aren't quite ready to give up our old house yet.
But if your family isn't around, how come you didn't choose to stay in the dorms? It'd be an easier commute to school.
I thought about it, but
She hesitates.
after everything that's happened, it doesn't feel right to leave my family alone. My parents do stay here for extended periods of time, like months at a time. It's just hard to predict when they'll be here.
This is exactly how I feel about Nikki and why I left CINY. I wonder if Yuuna lost someone in her family too.
Anyway, I really should get going.
Let me walk you home at least. I nod. Same here. I'll see you later then. She waves, then starts to walk. Once she's out of view, I drive off and head home. Time passes in a blur, and suddenly it's been a month since Nikki and I moved to Izokaze and I started at Ace Academy. My team and I are stronger than ever, and our winning streak has not been broken. Kaori, Sho, Mayu, and I spent many evenings practicing in the hangar, learning how to anticipate each other's needs on the field. Yuuna continues to manage our sponsorship from Dashu, and she's become more comfortable with the team. Valerie works hard behind the scenes to continually update our gears, and after all the tweaks she had given Eagle, I'm more confident than ever in my mech's abilities. I've had a surprising number of companies reach out to me to partner and research my core, but I've declined each invitation. I don't feel comfortable having strangers poke and prod at my dad's legacy, especially when I don't understand what's going on myself. Aside from team stuff, Yuuna and I partner up to play tennis on a regular basis, but it wasn't until last week when I finally won a match against her. Although, I think she might have let me win. She probably did. On the home front, Uncle Kaito is still as busy as ever now that his newly opened cafe has become insanely popular. Nikki spends most of her time at her school's cooking club, which has gained a lot of traction among the students. Sadly, that means I've had to fend for myself when it comes to food. Well, now that we know we're going against Anabugeisha, what do I feel like doing now? Hey, Yuuna! I was browsing a list of clubs and classes earlier, and Ace offers a cooking club. I remember Nikki mocking me, saying I should join when she first started her club. But maybe that isn't such a bad idea. I don't know how to cook. The look on her face would be priceless if I offered to cook and it was edible. I'll go check it out. I think the big thing is the fact that if it's edible. The cooking class is held in the culinary building. I enter a classroom filled with multiple cooking stations already set up with ingredients. It kind of reminds me of a chemistry lab, but with stoves and ovens and less crystal meth. and the corner of the room, I spot Yuuna and claim the station beside her, as I should. Hey, Yuuna! She blinks in surprise.
Oh, hey! Are you part of the cooking club?
No, I'm just dropping in today.
Me too. What brings you here?
I'd like to make a meal for Nikki.
That's really nice of you. I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
I hope so. She's a whiz in the kitchen. What about you? What brings you here?
Since I quit the SBA, I've got a lot of extra time, so I've been trying out some of the other clubs Ace offers.
Anything catch your interest?
A couple, but I'm still weighing my options. Besides, it's fun trying new things.
The student instructor arrives and everyone breaks away from their conversations to stand at their stations.
Welcome, everyone!
He goes into a short message explaining who he is and the rules and structures of the club.
Now that that's out of the way, today we will be learning how to make kasutera. If you haven't already done so, please put on your aprons.
I slip off my blazer and tie the apron around my waist.
First, we will preheat the oven to 160 degrees. And don't forget to line your pan with parchment paper.
Isn't that a little low? Oh, right. It's in Celsius.
For our dry ingredients, we will have 1 cup and 2.5 tablespoons of bread flour and 1 cup of sugar. The wet ingredients will have 6 eggs and 5 tablespoons of honey diluted with 2.5 tablespoons of water.
Okay, I'm writing this down. At least there aren't that many ingredients. As instructed, I measure out the ingredients. Wait, I forgot to preheat the oven. What temperature should it be? It was 160 degrees, because we thought it was a little low. I preheat the oven to 160 degrees. The instructor continues to provide instructions, and I follow as best as I can. Why are you so damn cute? While whisking the eggs, my gaze wanders over to Yuuna. She's carefully pouring flour into her measuring cup and leveling it off before dumping it in the bowl. Her tongue sticks out slightly as she concentrates. I try to hold back a chuckle when she glances at me. There's a smudge of flour on her cheek, and I can't hold back my smile. Don't you give me that face, you're so cute. She matches my grin before turning back to her ingredients. I refocus on my own station and add the sugar. The only thing left to do is add the honey. How much water do I use to dilute the honey? What was that, 2.5 tablespoons? Sounds about right. I add 2.5 tablespoons of water.
Once you add the last of your flour, mix the ingredients until combined. Be careful not to overmix. Pour the batter into your pan and let it bake for 35 minutes.
As instructed, I add the last of my flour to the mixture and continue to mix it. What counts as overmixing anyway? How do I know if I've mixed just the right amount or too much? Using my wooden spoon, I poke around to see if there are any flour chunks still left. Stabbing my bowl, are we good yet? Nope. I guess that means it's good. I guess that means my batter is ready to go into the oven. I set the timer for 35 minutes. We just went over this. 35 minutes. Now just to wait and see. It's going to be a mad science experiment. It's not going to explode, in theory. Once my timer dings, I carefully remove the cake from the oven. It baked unevenly, so some of the side is spilling over the pan. I think it might be a little darker on one side too. Does that mean it's burnt? I guess only one way to find out. I pry it out of the pan and put it on my plate. Some of the edges got stuck to the parchment paper when I removed it, so there are patches of yellow exposed under the darkish brown layer. Yuuna carefully sets her cake on her plate. It's a perfect loaf with a golden brown top and light yellow sides. She glances over at my cake and hides her smile with a cough. Don't you mock my cake. It's pretty much how all of my cooking really goes. The instructor begins his taste test in my row at the back of the classroom. He reaches me before Yuuna.
It didn't quite come out the way you expected, did it? But let's see how it tastes.
That's kind of how all my stuff works out. I have it in mind, and then it just kind of doesn't cook right. He puts a forkful of cake in his mouth. His eyes light up in a smile.
This is absolutely delightful.
Yes, I did it right. Really?
Let me try.
Yuuna stands right beside me, staring curiously at my cake. She tries a small piece.
Oh, wow. This is so good.
I impress the waifu with my cooking. My baking, I should say. I beam. Nikki is going to be so surprised. She's going to mock me too for how it looks, though. The instructor stops at Yuuna's station next.
This is a beautiful cake. I can't wait to see how it tastes.
Yuuna's face lights up in anticipation as the instructor takes a bite. He pauses, straining to keep his face calm, then gulps heavily.
How is it?
Her voice trembles with hope. The instructor's voice is hoarse as he chokes out his next words.
Practice makes perfect.
That applies to many aspects of life.
What?
Let me try. I take a bite.
How is it?
It's like if sugar and plaster had a baby together and let it sit out in the sun until every drop of moisture was baked out of it. That's like eating sand. Oh, that's a bad image. How do I put this nicely? Doesn't taste how it looks. I wish I could untaste this. Well, how do I break it to her nicely? Practice makes perfect.
Again? Can it really be so bad?
Yuuna grabs her fork and stuffs a piece in her mouth. She grimaces, then sighs deeply.
Practice does make perfect.
We should go on Nailed It. It'd be great. The instructor moves on to another station while Yuuna pouts at her rejected cake. I'm sorry. Well, aside from the result of your baking, what did you think of this class?
It was fun, but surprisingly challenging.
Yes, cooking, especially baking, is hard. She glances at her cake again and mutters under her breath.
Where did I go wrong?
You going to stick with this as your new extracurricular activity?
I don't know. I want to keep checking out other clubs.
Makes sense.
It looks like other students are trying each other's cakes. You want to try some?
Sure. As long as I get to spend more time with you. Yuuna and I walk around the room and try some of the other cakes with varying results. Once we tasted all of them, we head out. That was an interesting day to say the least, and we'll see what our next adventure holds next time. I'm going to end the episode here. As always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button down below or leaving a comment. It really does help me out. If you're new to the channel, make sure to unleash your power by hitting the subscribe button down below today as well. Feel free to follow me on social media. Links to those in the description down below. And I'll see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.